All right, I'm gonna back up a little bit to December because I think this is something kind of important. And if you can jump in on these, I think it's just eye-opening, it's refreshing, it's good collegiality. On the Leadership Council meeting on December 13th is when Candace Black announced workshops that are being led by state ed. There are a few of them in this series. The one has already happened, the vocabulary development, January 13th, but that one is now available that you can go in and watch the recorded one, answer a few questions, and you still can get CTLE credits for it. It was very good, a lot of really good concrete examples of what new units should look like, and talked about vocabulary acquisition and a better way to go about that. The one that's on right now is the grammar one, and I attended the first part of it last Thursday. This Thursday is part 2 of the grammar, and how grammar is truly being embedded in what we do. We won't, like we were just having a discussion about teaching the subjunctive, that is not going to happen anymore. It's going to happen through embedded culture, through chunked language. And I thought one of the most important things to kind of tell everybody is how the checkpoints are changing. So the checkpoint A, which is what we end with a proficiency, they're only expecting students to have a working knowledge of novice level skills, including just the present tense, adjective agreement, working knowledge, not mastery. So that's a big step down from what we called checkpoint A before. Checkpoint B, they should have mastery of the present tense and a working knowledge of the past, which I thought that's a big change too, because we used to say checkpoint B at the Regents, they need to be working in multiple tenses. And, you know, like my Spanish 3s, we introduced the subjunctive in Spanish 3. There's a big shift to not do those things. Those aren't going to come until in checkpoint C. So that's a really, really big change. Things are going to go much slower, and the accuracy level is going to be much less than what we are demanding of kids now. So that, I would say, even if you didn't get, again, part 1 has been recorded. If you can get to part 2 on March 3rd, do it. Again, they're free. They're at 4 o'clock. You can register through the State Ed site. Erin has these slides, so all of these links are live, so you can go in and register. Then there are 2 more that'll be offered: Understanding Standard-Based Lessons Planning on the 31st of March, and then Preparing for Standard-Based Curriculum Planning, the big picture, will be May 19th. So if you haven't done those already, it's well worth it. You're in a workshop with 300 people, but the presenters are really good. It's Joanne O'Toole, Bill Heller, Lori Langer Ramirez, just really great presenters. Next one.
Can I add to that?
Sure can.
Only that they are fabulous presentations, even to watch later. So what I've been doing just in the past, because I wanted to catch up on all of them last week, I've been watching them, and for me, it's a kind of fun because you can just fast forward through the parts, So, if that appeals to you, it's great.
Yes, I totally agree. They are well worth going in and watching. Yeah. The next point is exemplars. And again, I'm going to ask Amy to kind of jump in on this. There's checkpoint A, 21 examples are going to go live in early June. FLES examples, fall, checkpoint B and C, 2023. And they have right now over 300 people that are going to be writing exemplars in, you name the language. And Amy has been gracious enough to give her time that she will be writing exemplars for state ed and kind of representing our area too. So I don't know if you have anything you'd like to say about that at this point or not.
All that I would add is it is really fun, and we're working in groups with people like, so I have two companions, one's from Long Island, one's from Manhattan. So it's going to be kind of fun getting to work with them. And then they're doing different topics than I am. So anyway, we have our second meeting this week. And so I'll let you know more as it goes on. I'll know a lot more probably by the end of, before April, the end of April, I can share.
Thanks. And this is the link to the template that they're using. And this is going to be our guiding template. So again, as you start to create materials and see materials, they want this uniform look to them so that we can share things amongst ourselves. So if you come up with a great unit, you can say, hey, I'll be the next CAFLA presentation and share my unit with everybody else.
But we are targeting, we're going to have samples for all of level A by June. So that'll be really good. You can just use those even if you wanted to.
Right, because the new standards are going to go into effect in 22-23, if that's where you start your checkpoint A kids. Like for me, I don't start mine until 8th grade, so I have another year. But if you start your kids in 7th grade, next year is the new standards, the new templates, the new instruction. There's also summer regional workshops are going to be held at a lot of different BOCES, and later in here I have a list of exactly where they are. None of them close to us, but they will have people there from State Ed and NYSAFELT to help create these, and they'll work from 9 to 3 o'clock. You can get CTLEs for doing your curriculum work, and again, it's strange, we're building these units, but we have no idea what the assessments are going to look like at the end. So my hope is they should look like the units that we're doing, that we're going to give the kids something and in a similar format. I'm always a backward design person, so it's kind of weird. This was the January meeting. Again, these are links for two of the 2 workshops that haven't started yet, that you can still get in on those. Here's more information about the exemplar workshop planning that Amy's doing for us. And then we're getting, even with the COVID, and I specifically asked Candace, I said, even with COVID, and there's some schools that have been remote more than they've been in person. And she said, nope, our implementation timeline stands. It's still going out, but we still do not have any idea if we will have Regents exams in June or not. So, and that's across all subject areas. The schedule is out, but no decision has been made whether they will happen or not. The first documents were sent out to administrators about our changes, and the way you are evaluated should be changed as well. And there will be 3 documents that come out to them. The first one is out, and there's a link to that. If you think your administrator hasn't seen it and you want to print it out and stick it in their mailbox, feel free. And then the February 7th meeting was canceled because Candace was headed down to New York City for the big language conference down there. But this one, I just stuck her email in there. Again, there's live links to the workshops, and there is a list of the BOCES where they will have summer planning groups getting together. So there's a Capital One, Hudson Valley, a Mid-State, a Midwest, a West Erie, and New York City, Long Island. So to me, none of those seem close at all for me, but you might have family you're visiting in other parts of the state and you can jump in on that. So again, there's that information. And then from the workshop I took last week, I stuck this in here. This Wakelet, it's kind of an online storage place for all authentic resources, and they are being curated by people at State Ed. So they've been vetted, they're safe for use in your classroom, they're approved. You don't have to worry about somebody being offended by their content. It is State Ed, good stuff, all languages, and they are sorted out by language. Like, so there's a French folder, a Spanish folder, and there are infographics, there's commercials there, you name it, really good, and that will keep building as we go along. So if you're looking for authentic materials to build your IPAs out of, that's the first place you should go. And eventually all of the exemplars will be in this wakelet as well. So you can just go in and find an exemplar and it'll have all the materials. So that is a good link right there for that. So that's everything I have right now from state ed. Like I said, as each month, as I meet with the Leadership Council, I'll keep updating you and sending you more information, and hopefully within the next month or two, they'll say yay or nay to us writing proficiency exams and Regents exams. So any questions?
Thank you. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I look forward to the summer workshops. I haven't done those before, so I think I might get involved in those this year.
Yeah, and I haven't heard, has anybody heard if NICEFL is doing Summer Institute in person or online? I know
No, I haven't.
we lost John Carolino. If you've been to NICEFL things before, he was the man that ran everything, and just, it makes me teared up. Was an amazing man, and he will greatly be missed. So but I have not heard, I probably should reach out to Jenny Delfini, the president, and see, because that always happens in Oneana at SUNY Oneana, and that's a fabulous week with lots of great language educators all getting together. And you can, either commute in during the day and play all day and go home at night, or you can grab a dorm room and stay over. There's usually festivities in the evening if you want to keep going.
Interesting. Something came to mind, but I can't remember. Okay, so would you like to continue talking about assessments, or we want to talk about something else? Oh, this is the question I had on the assessments. I did reach out to, I have been brain dead all day today. I apologize, but I can't remember anything, but remember the assessments group from the other BOCES?
Tracy?
Yes, and the girl from Charlottesville. Anyway, we wanted to both join. I haven't heard back from them, so I don't know. Are you on that group? Are you doing anything with them, Stephanie?
No, I would say probably Tracy would know, or maybe Gina. There's another Stephanie in Downsville too, I know, that goes to that group. Stephanie Campbell in Downsville.
Okay, and you're not doing anything for assessments this year, or what are you doing for those?
I always just write my own, and I usually only have 3 or 4 kids. So I like to be able to pick whatever the readings are. I know what the kids love and give them something that's really high interest for them.
Yeah, understandable. Okay, well, I don't, does anyone want to talk about assessments, or you want to do that in March? I don't have it all finished. I've only finished the beginning part of it. Danielle or Sandra?
Well, I think I'm in this disadvantage here. I'm doing the middle school, so I have assessments, and I have been changing them a lot after, all of these. Most of my assessments are being online. So I tried to keep it some of technology ongoing, so it's not like I just so I eliminate a lot of the paper assessments. Everything is Google Classroom. I wouldn't say everything, but I will have like 1 or 2 papers for each unit. Besides that, everything is online. what I have done for my 7th or 8th graders, like we were talking about, just where Stephanie, I got the name. It was just like, it's watered down a lot for the 7th and 8th graders. At this point, we are in January, we're just starting to talk about what activities we like to do. So we're just starting there. And it takes them a little more time than in the past years to get to memorize words. So it's been a little more challenges creating more activities. I've been using a lot more of Kahoot, Quizlet, Bluecat, more online activities and games to start the class more than anything else. And then we start with assessments that have them, they have to listen to the audio that I recorded for them. So they listen and they can, if they don't finish in class, because that might be the case, they have the audio so they can take it home and redo it there. Even though that I'm moving on to the next activity, they have it. So they say, okay, now you have your own time, you can do it. And I give them until the end of the day, like at midnight. So sometimes 11:35, I receive the alarm. So-and-so is doing the classwork. It's like, but it's been different. It's been, but it's been, I've noticed also good things on the kids too. They like it, they are enjoying it, the part that is technology, and make me change a lot of things, but it's now in sync of what they do.
¿Y dónde enseñas?
Enseño en Oxford.
Oh, where's that?
No,
Norwich, Sydney.
Norwich, Oxford, Green, and Binghamton, if you go that way.
Oh,
Yeah, estoy dentro en la mitad de Norwich y Binghamton.
okay. Got it. I don't think it's north of me. I think I más al sur.
No.
A oeste y sur, ¿cierto?
Mhm.
Por oeste, ¿dónde estás tú?
En Gilboa.
Oh,
Sí, súper chiquitita. ¿Dónde está Gilboa? No sé, al norte y este de los Catskills.
oh, Catskills. Okay.
Norte y oeste en los Catskills.
Norte oeste, ok.
Cerca de Middleburg, casi, no tanto.
Gracias por el mapa.
Yes, I'm in the middle of
Bien
nowhere.
hecho, Erin.
Gracias, Daron. Sí,
Gracias, Darren.
ya te encontré, Amy. Perfecto.
Oh, look at that. Sweetness. I'm a little slow. Catch up with y'all. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Amy, ¿qué nivel, perdóname, qué nivel enseñas tú? ¿Tú enseñas high school?
8, ya todos son niveles de 0 a 3.
De 0 a 3, ok.
Sí, como 8º grado y después como nivel 1, 2, 3.
Ok.
Así
Ya.
es, como lo enseñan aquí.
Oh, ya. Las dos podemos comunicarnos en cuanto a lo de octavo. Yo enseño 7º y 8º, ese es el primero, y después continuamos con español 1, 2 y 3, y esa parte la hace Sara Palmer, pero yo trabajo en la parte de middle school, que no, está perfecto para mí.
Yeah. A mí me gusta middle school también, pero en mi escuela no damos clases al 7º y eso no me gusta porque yo creo que es mucho mejor comenzar en el 7º, pero en mi escuela comienzan en 8º y
Es lo mismo
enseñan
aquí.
como una introducción y dicen que 9º es nivel 1. Entonces, como para mí, los de 8º pueden hacer mucho más que hicieron antes. Entonces, yo realmente lo enseño como nivel 1, pero no reciben crédito por nivel 1 en 8º, desafortunadamente.
Sí, mis estudiantes, como empezamos en 7º, hacemos 7º y 8º, reciben el crédito 1.
Sí, qué bueno.
Es bueno, me gusta mucho.
eso es muy bueno. Lo que aquí por lo menos en mi colegio no puede ser porque no hay más. Yo soy el único maestro y
Sí.
quizás no se puede ver más. Pero
Sí,
sí le da. Yo, para mí, que quiten el octavo y que lo ponga para el 12avo, todo para arriba. Yo no soy de muchachito pequeño. Ay,
Sí, hay que
dale.
tener la paciencia para séptimo y octavo, hay que tenerla más, sí, si ellos no están muy mal, ahorita que estabas hablando del subjuntivo y todas esas cosas, bueno, yo nunca llegaría allá, o sea,
No.
no llegaré, no, nosotros leemos libros y ellos los ven y algunos
Ya, pero
preguntan, pero sí, su edad no está para esto, entonces,
no, ellos son pequeñitos.
Sí,
sí,
chiquitito.
So, Stephanie, tú enseñas español, ¿verdad?
Ahora con COVID, la escuela empieza con los del octavo, pero antes enseñé del kinder.
Oh,
Sí,
no supe eso.
sí, antes del kinder, pero ahora no. El octavo,
Kinder.
oh, me encantan los niñitos, porque
Sí, bueno, qué bueno.
es más fácil, es más fácil. Todo lo que tienes que hacer es cantar.
Sí,
Todo,
sí,
recuerdan todo. Si
sí,
está
recuerden todo.
bien, está
Es
bien.
verdad.
Todo. They are lovely, but not for me.
Sí, igual,
I
igual.
mean, I can do it. I haven't do it. Believe me, I haven't do it, which I think is perfectly correct. But you have to have basically leave it like that. It's recorded.
Demasiada paciencia.
It's,
You have to
Es
have like a
repetición.
little something for them, because I don't talk. When I talk, I don't talk sweet. So I don't say no. So for them, it's like they look at me like when they talk sweet here, my student was like, "Mr. Long, are you okay?" Yeah. You know, I'm more direct.
We gotta go where
Only-
we're
the
strong.
only advantage of really starting the kids in 8th grade, and you take that checkpoint A across 8th and 9th grade, as long as the kids maintain a 65 average, they do not have to take a proficiency exam. You do not have to give the proficiency exam if you start your kids in 8th grade.
That's why Gilboa does that.
65 average, and you're good.
But I prefer making them pass the proficiency.
I give it as the final exam and it just goes in the average, but it doesn't, like, I have a girl right now that she was one that she lives with her grandmother kept her home during COVID. They didn't have internet. I was teaching her on my lunch over the phone. That poor child, she lost a whole year that there's no way that, yeah, especially right now, I'm glad I don't have to give the proficiency. Because she's great and she tries really hard, but it's not her fault she's in the situation.
Right.
I think it is depend because we are such a small school, but let's talk about Rochester City School District. Rochester City School District, they haven't seen the classroom for years since COVID. They are nice kids, but they're not into the study a lot. So a proficiency for them, it's like not gonna happen.
And I think it's going to change. I
guess
mean, what we're
I go for-
asking at checkpoint A is getting lower.
Sandra, I think I do a lot of like Sandra does. I use technology. I have 12 programs that I gave it to them. I don't like paper. I don't use paper at this particular point. Everything is in Google Classroom. It is more organized. They know where they can locate it. They never tell you, I lost my thing because it's there.
Yep.
So I did everything. Let's check, it's there. They cannot, we avoid that kind of problem that I don't know where it is. I gave it to you. No, it's there. The other problem that happen right now, one of the problems that happen right now is basically my computer is not charged. That is another issue, but hey, I do it right now, a bell work with pencil. I have a bunch of pencil, but right now it's 2 or 3 because they never bring pencil now. So some stuff substituting for something else. But now Amy and Stephanie, Aaron too. What are we gonna do? For example, we're gonna do the test more TPRS, let's put it this way, more cognitive approach. They're gonna talk a lot. So do we have to start to teach our class in the language target?
Yeah,
Do we have
absolutely.
to make sure
We
that
have to
they
do
get-
CI.
Yeah, I start
have
my
to do-
class every day with a conversation now. And even with my ninth graders, and we were conversing today. I said, tell me, where I told them about my vacation and my fun time driving the Tesla down in Georgia. That was super awesome.
Because we know, I mean, we have to,
And then I asked them questions, and then they had to report on their
And-
trip. We had a full conversation, everybody in front of everybody else, a full conversation being the four exchanges that you would have if you're giving the one-on-one assessment. I do a full conversation, whole class, so they all have to do it in front of each other. So that by the time I pull them separately, this is just secondhand. They're so used to this. Now it's already that they already understand all the question words so well that when I ask them, they don't even think about it. They just answer. Sometimes they answer in English because they can't say it in Spanish, but we're having a fluid conversation.
now I'm gonna ask Sandra, are you? Sandra. Sandra,
She might be there. She's probably just, whatever.
Ya, es que no, estaba,
ahora Sandra, que le voy a preguntar una cosa a usted, vea. ¿Usted habla español con los muchachos?
a veces no.
Pero porque nosotros, eso es lo que quiero preguntar, porque a veces para mí me cuesta hablar español, siendo mi lengua español. Pero, ¿cómo? Dame un tip o dame un dato ahí, ¿cómo haces para hablar español con los muchachos?
De séptimo y octavo.
Sí,
Con ellos yo trabajo repetición, entonces yo les doy la pregunta. Por ejemplo, cuando aprendimos los colores, yo les dije, ¿cuál es tu color favorito? Entonces ellos deben ellos deben aprenderse la pregunta, aprenden a hacer la pregunta y todos los días cambias de color. Entonces preguntas, hacer la pregunta a un compañero, ¿cuál es tu color favorito? ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? Oh, me gusta el amarillo, me gusta el rosa. Y todos los días repiten eso. Después hacemos, por ejemplo, ¿cuándo es tu cumpleaños? Entonces aprendimos los meses, los días. Mi cumpleaños es, nunca enseño la oración completa y se la tienen que memorizar. Entonces ellos todos los días tienen preguntas. Tengo papelitos donde les he escrito las preguntas y les saco cada papelito y ellos empiezan a hacerse preguntas uno al otro. Entonces ya, por ejemplo, a este punto sabemos 8 preguntas. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cuántos años tienes? ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? ¿Qué clima hace hoy?
This is what I do for the checkpoint A kids. They have these little things and there's the questions, and they're at checkpoint A, they are memorized questions.
Mhm.
So the first one is ¿Cómo estás? I go down a little bit. ¿De dónde eres? ¿Cómo eres tú? And
where did you get it done?
add a few questions, and they have them to hang on to. And this,
That's
It's all about
free?
asking questions.
Because
and then they start asking each other questions, or if you ask, like if I ask Amy, what's your favorite color? Then I might turn around and say, hey, what's Amy's favorite color? And make you listen to her, what she said, because the next question might not be what's your favorite color. It's what is her favorite color? Or how many people said green was their favorite color? And just keep circling and circling and circling.
for me, to be honest with you, if one day I start to talking in Spanish in class, which some kids improve. But I start to I don't want to release and blah, blah, blah. So I say, okay, let's switch. I don't. So because for me, will be the idea is talk the class in Spanish complete. That they will get a whole, maybe no, but they will get some. Because it is the only way that you learn a total immersion.
It's a little too black and white. I mean, there's times like I'm asking questions and then I throw in a word because I'm thinking in Spanish and I know it's a word the kids aren't going to get. So then I immediately go to, I say the word in Spanish, I repeat it in English, I go back to the Spanish. And that way they get the comprehension, but they get the repetition of the Spanish. Do you understand? So they get the word. I can They're perplexed. They never heard this word before. I throw it out in English. I repeat the word. Okay. So there's no problem with using English. It's just like 90% should be in Spanish, but yeah,
That's the
100%
goal.
is a little too much because you got to give them those, scaffolds to help them, keep
No, I don't say,
understanding you.
I never said that use English is wrong, but I would say, for example, in Europe, they teach the language class
Sí, pero
in
son
the
europeos.
Italian language.
Somos en
So
America.
they get fluent in the
Somos.
language.
Yeah, I know, but that's different. We're
We,
not
I mean,
European.
we are not teacher. We know that there are some teacher, the Spanish teacher, that I have somebody that I know, which I'm not gonna discuss because I recorded Aaron, that she's a Spanish teacher, but she doesn't speak Spanish.
It happens. It's okay. That's
Not
not
at all,
their
it's like,
problem. But we're not in Europe, so we can't compare to European students. We have to teach the students that are in front of us.
And sometimes
we don't-
I
we
will
don't.
tell you, there's some days that the kids will just shut down on you and
Yeah.
you don't know why, and you just shift gears and do something else.
Yeah. You got to teach the kids that are in front of you that day, that moment.
Oh, no, that's what it, oh, okay. So I asked Sandra because Sandra sometimes, because Sandra,
Dime.
yes, we have the language. Nosotros tenemos la lengua, pero a veces es como que entiendo. Por eso te pregunté.
Sí. No. And one of the things that when you're starting, you always wanted to, like, that's one of goal that you want to have the class full in Spanish. But sometimes you will find groups that are really high achievers and you can get like 60% or 70% in Spanish, and some other classes they're not that like that. You're gonna have only 20% in Spanish and the rest in English. It just depends of it's gonna fluctuate of the students that you have. Like for example, for me this year, and we're coming back after all this COVID, I have an 8th grade class, which is amazing. I mean, they, even if I speak in Spanish to them, 80% they try, they give it a try. But my 7th graders, they are not there. So they are not, it's really hard even to convince them to say one sentence in Spanish, that I don't think I'm going that road with them. So it depends of who you have and the students, and rural areas like that we teach in, we know that Spanish is not going to be the priority. So we need to make it a little more of how can I make it useful to you. So one of the things that I do is try to consider the readings, the infographics that we give them. So they like really wants to read and they say, oh, this word, how do you say this word? And sometimes it's not even at their level, but they want to say it. So I help them to say it, and then they pronounce it, or they say whatever. Different things that could find from one year to the next one. But it's a good thing to think about, like, I want to speak more Spanish, yes. And my level is not doable, that 90% is not, but it's a good thing to keep it in mind. It's not going to be doable every year, and it depends on who you have.
Yeah, what happened in my school, we have 2 groups, let's put it this way. The native speaker that they talk in home in Spanish, they cannot write well. And they have the other that's non-English, I mean, no Spanish at all.
Yes.
So I talk to the Spanish speaker in Spanish because I can do it.
Separated out
But
as
the-
heritage
And
learners? Do you have a heritage learners class as opposed to mixing the two together?
Yeah, for example, in my Spanish 4, I have one student that she's fluent in Spanish. She's from Mexico, but she haven't living here forever. She's fluent in reading, writing in Spanish, like a top of the church, college level. She can be a teacher now, let's put it this way. And English also, because she have both level in the perfect. So, but the one that's with her, she's struggled a little bit with the Spanish. So pretty much that's what I have. There are some classroom. My Spanish speaker, what they don't do well is in the grammar. In
Yeah.
point of view, they don't do well. But the other group, they do wonderful in the grammar point of view. So it is what it is, like that. Here I have these 2 groups. I have to manage to do it.
Plus, I've been in another school district where, like you said, I have 25 students, but they are going into very different levels. Like you can have somebody who's really advanced and they have visited Spain, they have been there. And I have a student who goes to the same level, Spanish 1, and it just doesn't know even the numbers or colors. It's just the first time they start there. So that one is another to account. When I start speaking Spanish and English, I do for both, because that's kind of like the middle ground for those classes that are like that. And then you don't have any ways to like Stephanie was saying, like separate them. In the school that I was talking about, they don't have that, like the honors class or this, no. So you have to find that middle ground as a teacher to keep everybody engaged.
Yep. So I like those conversations because we brainstorm, and I like to talk with smart people. It's make me think. You know what I mean?
How many years have you been teaching, Daniel?
This is my 21st year.
21st, okay.
21st.
All of them in here in the United States?
If I tell you, you know my age, so leave it like that.
Okay, but all the 21 years that you had teaching experience is being in the United States?
Yes, I am engineer. I am
Okay.
engineer. I went to Cornell to do my master. So I become a teacher later on. That is my second career.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I am.
okay. Not recently, but 3 years ago, I got my ENL, my ESL. Now it's just whatever it's, new signal. It's English for second language, or English for new language, or English as a second language.
Yeah.
So I got,
I am too. I have no
Yeah.
idea what I'm called anymore, Sandra.
oh, nice. I don't know. I got that one. So recently I got that, which makes me realize how much, as a new teacher, when I was teaching Spanish, just Spanish, I have those same goals as you, Daniel. Like we need to speak the English all the time. And then when I was doing the opposite, I realized that learning a language is more about how much I can get, yes, but how much I enjoy it. Like in the moment that I don't feel like I'm lost. So that was another experience that I got. I mean, as a other, I see the coin on the other side. So I know where you're coming from, Daniel. I know what you were talking about. But as you go along, you will see that it just might change. It's just you find things that, and then one year you find it, you find your balance, and you say, okay, this is how much Spanish I'm gonna give you, and this is how much English I'm gonna give you. And it's very cool.
It depends the population, like I just said, because in one school I thought, and I couldn't speak in Spanish. They were so into, they wanna learn more Spanish.
Yes.
But some school, for example, is like, no, you know what I mean? Lo siento, tengo que ir. Hasta la
Oh, lo
próxima.
siento, Amy. Adiós, Amy. Gusto en
Hasta luego.
verte.
Bye bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Nos vemos.
So, but I think it's good. No, I mean, I took a course for the ESL.
Oh, did you?
Let's say I got very into the theory about the second language acquisition, but I believe more total immersion, because I learned English in total immersion. I came here, or I learned, or I didn't talk. I believe the language is more when you need to use. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, but that was your motivation to do ESL. Like you and I were focused on, we're gonna do this one and we're gonna get it because we want it. I mean, we're focused on that. The kids that you're gonna see in the classroom, some of them are there because they have to take the class. They're there because they need to get the credit. Later on, they say, oh, you know what, I like it and I want to continue, but it's not my only focus. And I don't know, sometimes that is the part where they get lost. And I think later on, when you get like to the 4th or 5th level, it's important to speak in Spanish all the time. But in the younger levels, 1, 2, and even 3 depends of a lot of the population, a lot more than anywhere.
So, you know, it was a good talk. Right now, for example, my kids, I think I teach a lot of grammar and that kind of stuff, but the talking, I think I'm missing that part. Of course, remote is hard to because like say that I cannot hear you.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard. But hey, it is hard. No, it is. You gotta find the way to do it. Let's put it this way.
Yes.
So now, when are we gonna do
Yes.
those assessments, Stephanie?
Amy's gonna give that presentation. It's March 28th. And I guess we need to decide if we do want to do it at the restaurant or if we want to meet at the teacher center to do that. I'm not sure, you know, if people want to Zoom, if we're going to be able to do dinner, or if, you know, we can set up a Zoom from a laptop for other people. I don't know. That's kind of, Aaron, that's back to you in planning.
Hear ya. We cannot hear you.
Got to put the mic down. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be more difficult to plan for a virtual connective piece. I'm sure we could figure it out. It just would definitely be more difficult. So I think it's a matter of, is there a critical mass of people that would be interested in meeting at the restaurant, or we could just meet here.
Or another option, maybe we could meet at the teacher center and do our thing there and then reconvene for dinner, you know, just down the hill. If, you
That's
know,
the best idea.
Drive down the hill and we all go to the restaurant together after that. I don't know how much time we'll have.
Sandra, I think because I hear that you have the ESL. This is more right now for Crasher. It's more cognitive approach right now. It's gonna become the Spanish language or whatever. It's more like talking, the linguistic approach to be used.
The ESL, what did I take the ESL?
No, lo que estamos haciendo, creo que Candy, lo que se va a plantear es que vamos a enseñar más con el cognitive approach, más que con el lingüístico, lo que estábamos haciendo.
Yeah.
Pero yo he tratado de aprender, pero tengo que aprender más, me falta.
Yeah. Well, I speak French as well.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Tu parles français?
Oui, je parle très bien. Je parle français, mais je ne l'ai pas pratiqué beaucoup. I am.
Moi aussi.
Oh, ça c'est bien. So as you can see, I'm a language lover. So I try to read everything about research, brain, how it works, how we study, and I love it. That's my passion. I love teaching, but teaching from the approach of how you learn best. So when I was trying to do the ESL, I was trying to do it more for the point of view of how is that you teach English, since it's so different. So I just decided to take it, and it was a different idea. And then it's more cognitive, like we were talking about here. And all the techniques that they were doing for ENL, it was very different of how I learned to teach Spanish. So it was a very different approach, and doing both of them, it was enrich enlighten how to create assessments. So it is different. And when we're talking about today, the assessments of how to create them based on not in one topic, but more of what was the word that you used, Stephanie? I'm sorry, more of complete approach, like it's in general approach of how you're gonna learn it.
Yep, it's comprehensible input. And
exactly.
Embedding the culture through authentic material.
Throughout authentic materials. So all of that, it was embedded into that ESL, and then I just start putting more onto that one. So it makes sense as we go, and then you see some of the, hopefully some on the classes, and it makes sense, and it just clicks. It helps more. It just, you make more connections in the brain when you do that. Like, oh, I remember these about the food. I remember these about the music. I remember this word because we were talking about this country, or we're talking about history in this country. So they make more memories in that way. So I did like that. So I don't know if that was the question that you asked me, Daniel.
No, you're good. Yeah. No, you are good.
So that's when, and I was, like I said, I took those classes in different places, different times too. So it's been different. So right now, I haven't taken class. The last class that I took was 5 years ago or more than that. And right now, I would like to go back and see, because the students have changed in some ways how they receive information. So I would like to see that too, but I want to wait a little more until everybody just starts settle down and see how that looks too. Because I know that what I'm doing right now with the online is working, and it's and it's good for me. I change it and I love it, but I have to include more of reading, which right now I don't think I'm doing. The reading part has fall apart. Like there's no, I mean, there's little reading that I give them, but not much. So I would like to work on that one too. So
To be honest with you, because I am the only Spanish teacher here, it's very hard like to get together with other teachers and start to share ideas, because sometimes I engineer, that's my mind. So I know a lot of, sometimes I get it like in I don't know how I can say it. Sometimes it's like I getting a chocolate with a wall. It's like I don't know, just to bring it up more fresh stuff. Makes sense what I said. So, a veces como que me meto en una carretera que no tiene salida y la cabeza no pone a pensar. Necesito como hablar para tener más ideas. Makes sense right now. So for me, I like to talk because bring me more idea for brainstorm. For me is very important. But so nice talking to.
So we have a program coming up this Wednesday, I believe it is. I'll have to double check again. Oh, I thought it. It's March 3rd with Dr. Abbas, and it's ELL for practicing elementary teachers. And although she's talking about elementary teachers, it still may be valuable for you guys. And she's going to be talking about how you can embed multi-language environment within the classroom so that your classroom is multi-language based. And we really need people to sign up. So if you haven't done it, please do so.
When it's done?
It's March 3rd, 4:30 to 5:30. And I'll just throw in the chat, the Zoom links, and the registration link for Frontline.
Guys, it was amazing talking to you today. Daniel, me encantó cantar mucho en español. Meet you next time, but I have to get going.
It's the Zoom link.
Yes, I did receive the link. Thank you.
Where I have to register. I do two things in once. I don't where I have to register.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you the registration link right now.
Okay.
And again, it's like anything else. I could always give you the CTLE after the fact, but it's definitely easier if you do it through Frontline. And let everybody else know, I thought we would have a big hit with the ELL series, and we're just not getting the people I thought we were going to get. Oops. Did I? Yeah, I got it to everybody. Okay. So Sandra says, lo siento, pero mi tengo que, I don't remember IR. Hasta luego.
Amy, that's Amy. Amy
No,
went already.
Sandra said the same thing.
Okay. So we can call it a day, and if you would, get out to everybody, Aaron, that, we're thinking about meeting in person, and then
Sure.
a dinner for anybody that wants to stick around. We're gonna
go to the
Let's go to
We're gonna go to the
Fiesta.
Fiesta after, for anybody that wants to.
It is about weather. I cannot go.
Are they
Yeah,
open on Mondays? It's a Monday, Aaron.
Is it a Monday? I thought it
You Need to
was.
check.
I will double check.
Okay,
Let me know. And thank you, Stephanie, for the
good to
update.
see you.
Good to see you too.
See you later, Aaron.
All right, bye, Stephanie. Thanks for your help.
Yep.
All right, bye-bye.